Okay. Today we are starting new section, which is ray optics. Within this, the first topic is refraction at plane surfaces. There are two parts of optics: ray optics and wave optics. In ray optics, you will learn about the refraction at plane surfaces, prism, lenses, then microscopes, telescopes. All these will come in the ray optics. Then after we have the second part, wave optics. Syllabus for the wave optics is quite short, so that doesn't take much time. So this only ray optics will take slightly longer time, but still altogether the this entire section is smaller only, short only. Okay, first we start refraction at plane surfaces. This thing you are done in class 10 also, so probably it will not come, but just to know what is refraction of light. We say the bending of a ray of light when it travels from one medium to the another medium, having different optical densities from the surface is called refraction. What is the cause of refraction of light? The refraction of light is caused due to change in the speed of light. We know speed of light changes from one medium to the another medium, and that causes refraction. I think you know that. Like for example, the speed of light in vacuum or in the air, what is the value? The value is 3 into 10 to the power of 8 meter per second. Actually, the value of the speed of light in air is 2.99 into 10 to the power of 8, which is approximated to 3 into 10 to the power of 8 meter per second. Speed of light in glass will have a different value. The value is 2 into 10 to the power of 8 meter per second. The speed of light in water is also different. In every medium, the value of speed will be different. Speed of light will differ from one medium to the other medium. And that causes refraction. Okay, one thing to be known or to be noted that any kind of wave will have three properties. What are the three properties of a wave? If it is electromagnetic wave, it will have C means speed. It will have frequency, it will have wavelength. Okay. Any kind of wave will have three properties. Any kind of wave, either the sound wave or light wave or electrical wave, any kind of wave will have three properties. C, F, lambda, or we C or we can write V. V means speed or velocity. How are these three properties related to one another? The relationship between them is C is equal to F lambda. This is the formula between them. Or we write this formula V equal to F lambda or C is equal to F lambda. Lambda means wavelength. Out of these three properties, when a wave travels from one medium to the another medium, one property does not change. Which property does not change? The answer is frequency. Frequency does not change. Does not change. Whereas speed changes, wavelength changes. Why frequency does not change? Actually, frequency means the number of oscillations or number of waves. One oscillation is one wave. Number of waves in 1 second. The frequency depends upon the source which is originating the wave. And it does not depend upon the medium or the media. So as long as origin is same or source of origin is same, frequency remains the same. That is the key point out here to be noted is the during refraction or when a wave travels from one medium to the another medium, which properties of light does not change. We say frequency does not change. Which properties change? We say speed changes, wavelength changes, even the brightness will change, but it is the frequency of light which does not change. Okay, that is the important point. Okay, now after that, there are two laws of refraction of light. What are they? The incident ray, the refracted ray, and the normal at the point of incidence all lie in the same plane. Second law is called Snell's law of refraction, according to which sin I by sin R equal to mu, or we say the ratio of sine of angle of incidence to the ratio to the sine of angle of refraction is constant, and this ratio is called . and this ratio is called refractive index of one medium with respect to the other medium. Okay, so probably statement of the laws of refraction will not come now because we are on higher standard. So Snell's law says that sin I by sin R is equal to refractive index. That constant is refractive index. We can write refractive index is actually a relative term because refraction also takes place from one medium to the another medium. So we write like this, 1 to 2. This way we write. Okay, this equation is called Snell's law of refraction. Now our main focus will be now on refractive index of a medium. Refractive index. The heading is refractive index. Okay, just learn about the refractive index. Refractive index is a relative term. It is a comparison of actually the speed of, because the refraction is caused due to change in the speed of light. It is a comparison between the speed of light in one medium with respect to the another medium. So we write like this. 1 to 2, we write like this, C1 by C2. The formula becomes like this. This medium, C1, this medium will come down, C1 by C2. And how do we read it? Reading time, we read this way, refractive index of medium 2 with respect to medium 1. We read this way. The ray of light is, in this case, is traveling from medium 1 to medium 2. That means the incident ray is in medium 1 and the refracted ray is in medium 2. Okay. So refracting medium will come here later on and the speed of light will come down. Okay. Now refractive index of glass with respect to air, we write like this, either with mu or with the n. We can write n also, like 1 and 2 with the same thing. Either mu or n can be used for denoting the refractive index. So how do we read this? We read this way, refractive index of glass with respect to air. And in this case, ray of light is traveling from air to glass. And if you have to write down the formula of this in terms of the speed, we write as Ca by Cg. That is the speed of light in air upon the speed of light in glass. We'll be writing in this manner. Okay. Same way, if I write like this, water here, glass over here, how do we express it speed wise? We'll be writing Cw, speed of light in water upon speed of light in glass. And how to read it? Reading time, we read this refractive index of glass with respect to water. We'll be reading this way. And in this case, the ray of light is traveling from water to glass. Ray of light is moving from water to glass. Glass is the refracting medium. Refracted ray is here and incident ray is in this medium. Okay, now in some case I write just like refractive index only I write. And suppose I write refractive index of only glass and this side nothing is written. If nothing is written, such a refractive index is called absolute refractive index. This is known as absolute refractive index of the medium. This time the medium is glass. Absolute refractive index of the medium. Here in this case it is glass. I like glass. This is the meaning of absolute refractive index of the glass, which means it is with respect to either vacuum or air. Here we can either write air or vacuum because speed of light in the air or in the vacuum, they have got almost the equal values. So here, if nothing is mentioned, it is automatically either vacuum or air. And such a refractive index is known as absolute refractive index of the medium, which we can only write as mu. The refractive of any medium, that medium can be any kind of liquid like glycerin, paraffin, anything, transparent medium. That means it is absolute one. This can be absolute only when the medium one is either air or vacuum. So you can consider this as an absolute refractive index, but this one we cannot consider as an absolute refractive index because this is with respect to water. This is with respect to water. So this is non-absolute refractive index. This is not absolute one because it is with respect to water. Okay. Now, very often they ask the question like this: the absolute refractive index of a medium can not be less than 1. The absolute refractive index of a medium can never be less than 1. Its value can never be less than 1. You know the reason why? Because absolute refractive index is the ratio of speed of light in vacuum to the speed of light in the given medium. Suppose I write any medium out here, I will be writing like this. So any kind of medium, I just write M over here. I need to write the C0 and Cm. With respect to vacuum, vacuum is 0, or air also we can write any one way. This is always bigger and this is always smaller. So when we divide bigger quantity by the smaller quantity, our answer will never come less than 1. Our answer will come always more than 1. That's why the absolute refractive index value can never be less than 1. We give the answer, we say that since the speed of light in vacuum cannot have the value less than the speed of light in any other medium. Okay, you can just write it down. Please make a note of it. Write down. The absolute refractive index, the absolute refractive index, the absolute refractive index of a medium cannot be less than 1, cannot be less than 1, since speed of light in vacuum, speed of light in vacuum can never be less than the speed of light in any medium, in any other medium, in any medium. You can just write that in any medium. Okay. Oh yes. From where? Yeah, you didn't write anything, huh? Okay. Okay. Because the speed of light in vacuum can never be less than the speed of light in any medium. Because the speed of light in vacuum can never be less than the speed of light in any medium. Done? Okay. Okay. We can later on you can see the recording also. No, there also it should be clear. Anyway, it's okay. Good to clarify now only. So there are two types of refractive index: absolute and non-absolute. Okay. Now, please write down uh, refractive index will have no unit. Why it will have no unit? Because it is a ratio of two similar quantities always, like speed here, then also speed. So refractive index as such will have no unit. Now you can write, or you just learn this thing and then we'll be doing little theory here. Uh, Suppose I'm having like this only. How do we read it? We read this refractive index of medium 2 with respect to medium 1. We read this way. Okay. Uh, if it is some other medium, then it will be non-absolute refractive index. If it is air or vacuum, it will be absolute 1. If it is non-absolute refractive index, can we express it in terms of the absolute refractive index or indices? Answer is yes. This thing we can write like this: mu2 by mu1. You may not mention anything that is they are absolute. This is vacuum or air coming here. This becomes the relationship. 1 mu2 equal to mu2 by mu1. Speed wise, we write C1 by C2. Remember it. This medium will come at first C1 and this will come down C2. But the refractive index, when we split it, we write that is mu2 upon mu1. One example, suppose we are having here water and glass over here. This is definitely non-absolute one. How to change it into absolute form? We will change this way. First, we'll add this one here, mu g upon mu w. We'll be doing like this. But now, the reason why it becomes like this, I'll show you the reason why it becomes. Okay. I'll be proving this fact. Okay. Proof of this, you just have a look at it and see. One mu2, I'll take first LHS, left hand side. Left hand side is 1 mu2. Let us write like this, speedwise write C1 by C2. Now, here only what I will do, I will divide by absolute C naught here. Here also I divide by C naught in both. We can divide by the same quantity, in both numerator and also in the denominator, because these two quantity will cancel out each other and we'll have the same answer. Okay, now if I am looking at the C1 by C naught, this should be the value of 1 upon mu1. Because mu1 is equal to what? C naught by C1. That's nothing is in this vacuum, C naught by C1. We are getting reciprocal of mu1 here from this, and this will be reciprocal of mu2. That means ultimately we have answer coming mu2 by mu1. This thing they will not ask you to prove, but for your satisfaction, I just explained to you. This is the reason why this happens like this. So anywhere if we are having non-absolute reactive index, we split it in this manner. This will come up, this will come down, and we will be changing this into the absolute form. So non-absolute to absolute form, you understood the method, how do we change? Okay. Because in your question paper, they will give the value of refractive index always in the form of absolute refractive index. For example, they will say refractive index of glass, they will give the value of 1.5. Refractive index of water, they will give the value of 4/3 or 1.33, like that. That means these are absolute form with respect to air. With respect to air, that means absolute only, or with respect to vacuum, or with respect to vacuum. That means this is your absolute one. And suppose we are having a situation, this way it is coming, so we always split it in this format because these values are only available to us. So we'll be splitting it in the form of absolute refractive index, like this, mu g by mu w will come down. Okay. Now, another fact to be known is this much, 1 upon mu2 into 2 into mu1 is equal to 1. Why this will be equal to 1? Let us prove this also. It is quite simple. We can take LHS of this question. Let us express it in terms of C1 and C2. This will become C1 by C2. This will be C2 by C1. Cancelling, answer is 1. Very simple. Or we can split in the absolute form, like mu2 by mu1. Here you will be writing mu1 by mu2, then mu also cancelled. The answer is again 1. So either of them we can do it. Okay, or we can write like this, or after proving this one, or we can show this one like this also is equal to 2 upon mu1 like this. When you reverse the medium, this becomes 1 upon 2 mu1. Okay, now in some situation we may have a case coming like 1 mu2, 2 mu3 into 3 mu4 is equal to how much? What should I fill in the blank in this case? Can you guess how much should I write there in the blank? You can suggest me. Any one of you can respond. What should I be filling in the blank? Good. Very good. Because here you can see also this way, 2 will cancel, 3 will cancel, 1 and 4 will be left over. Yeah, I'll write like this. Mu4 with respect to 1. Yes. Because these two will cancel, these two will cancel, 1 and 4 left over, so I can write that. And the logic, if you want to see the logic behind this one, we can write like this, no, C1 by C2. Here you can write C2 by C3 or C3 by C4. Cancel. This will cancel. C1 and C4 left over. C1 by C4. Immediately combine them together. So I write here 1 is here, so I write 1 here. 4 is here, so I write 4 here. It becomes that automatically. So this is called multiple refractions. Multiple refractions. If many times refractions taking place, this will happen. Suppose this is also 1. So what is the answer now coming? If it is also 1 given, what is the answer? Overall, the answer will, yeah, answer will come 1 now. Yes, because this is also C1 only, and then answer, this also will cancel. The answer will be everything cancelling. 2, 2 will cancel, 3, 3 will cancel, 1, 1 also cancel. The answer will be only 1 there in that case. Okay, good. This type of question you may get for 1 mark. It may come. So be prepared for it. Okay, now like this thing will not come now, but you need to know that refractive index of glass with respect to air is 1.5. What is the meaning of this statement? We say this statement means that the refractive index of, this statement means the speed wise will say the light travels 1.5 times faster in air than in glass. This is the meaning. I say refractive index of water is 4 by 3. What is the meaning of this? This statement means the light travels 4 by 3 times faster in air, because air is a rarer medium, so faster in 4 by 3 times faster in air than in the glass, than in water, because it is all about water. Do you know which medium's refractive index is the lowest? Yes, please. Which medium has the minimum refractive index value? The refractive index of which medium is minimum and which medium is maximum? Do you know the value? Anyone? Very good, very good. Diamond has got maximum value and minimum. Which medium has it? No. Minimum air है, air. The refractive index of air is minimum and it's equal to 1. Nearly 1. It's not exactly equal to 1, but nearly 1. It is actually 1.000 something. We round off to 1. And the refractive index of diamond is the maximum, which is 2.45. Just to keep in mind, refractive index of air is 1. Why? Because the speed of light in vacuum and the speed of light in air are almost equal. That means your numerator and denominator are nearly equal. So they cancel each other, the answer is nearly equal to 1. Hope you understood this part. The refractive index of air has got the value 1, and which is the minimum value. It's assumed to be 1 actually, but it's not exactly 1. And the refractive index of diamond is maximum. Okay. Now, write down here mu depends on, mu is refractive index of, this absolute one I'm talking about, depends on refractive index of a medium with respect to vacuum, or this is absolute one, depends on, right, number 1, first factor, density of the medium. Density of the medium, that is optical density, not the physical density. Density of the medium. How it depends on the density of the medium? More the density, more the refractive index. That is, more the refraction will take place. Less the refractive index, less the refraction will take place. So, in a way, directly proportional. We have hot air and we have cold air. Which will have greater value? We'll say cold air, because cold air is denser and the hot air is rarer. So, hot air will have lesser value. Greater the value of mu, greater the density. Lesser the value of mu, lesser the optical density. Okay. Now the second factor is temperature, because we know temperature affects the density, and so it depends even the value of mu. Okay. Then is more the temperature, the density will decrease, so refractive index also will decrease. Third factor, you write down wavelength of light. Wavelength lambda. It depends upon the wavelength of light also. Different colors have different value of mu. Okay, and now number 4 you write down color of the light. It depends on the color of light also. Color of light. Color of the light. Okay. Now just write, put an asterisk below and write down. Mu varies with lambda. Mu is refractive index. That is absolute one. Mu varies with lambda according to Cauchy's equation. Cauchy's, C-A-U, according to Cauchy's, C-A-U-C-H-Y, Cauchy's equation. According to Cauchy's equation, write down the equation like this. Equation is going as A equal to mu equal to A plus beta by lambda square, where A and B are small constants, small constants. A and B have got smaller values, and they are constant. They are some kind of number. That means mu is merely approximately inversely proportional to the square of the wavelength. Mu is approximately or nearly inversely proportional to the square of the wavelength. That is, more the wavelength, less the value of mu. Less the wavelength, more is the value of mu. Just opposite. Do you know which color of light has greatest wavelength or the longest wavelength, and which has the shortest wavelength? Do you know? I'll just, yeah, tell me. हाँ, जिसका कम होगा वो वायलेट होगा, क्योंकि the range of different color of light is from 4,000 angstrom to 8,000 angstrom. That is visible range. 4,000 is for violet light, remember it, and 8,000 is for the red light. That is violet. Violet has the shortest wavelength in that order, Vibgyor order. Violet has the shortest wavelength, and the red has the longest wavelength. If the wavelength is shortest for violet, the refractive index will be the greatest. It will have the highest value, maximum. In the color of the light, you can write here mu V is bigger than mu of the red, and mu V greater than mu R. This will signify that the violet has got maximum value of refractive index among the color, and the red has the minimum. Refractive index of violet is most, and that for the red is least. Mu V is greater than mu R. So that means it varies nearly inversely proportional to the square of the wavelength. Okay. The graph of this Cauchy's equation, you can just draw the graph to show the variation of mu with lambda can be drawn like this. One side will take mu, one side will take lambda, and the graph will be coming in the form of like this way. Hyperbolic curve, this kind of curve. If they ask question, draw a graph to show the variation of mu with the wavelength of light, you will draw like this. And if they ask you for show the wavelength of, the different color of light. So I'm sure this is maximum. So maximum will be there for the violet. This will be the violet light, and this will be mu V, and mu V here. This will be violet maximum, and this will be red. This will be red. Here we can write mu R. This is a minimum value. This is a minimum value here, and this will be for red. Violet here, red here. This way. Violet has got the smallest wavelength, and the red has got the maximum. This is how we can express. If it is all about the color, normally color we will not show. If they ask you to just draw the graph, and if they have given already a graph and they are asking you identify the or label the refractive index for the violet and the red light, the maximum you will draw for the violet and minimum you will draw for the red. If they ask you to label, then we'll label that way. Otherwise, we'll just draw a sketch only this way, roughly. So this is the equation. Okay, this equation is called Cauchy's equation. C-A-U-C-H-Y apostrophe, Cauchy's equation. Hope you got the idea, isn't it? Yes. Okay. Thank you very much. Now, just see, uh, the formula says that mu is equal to sine I by sine R. This is absolute one. Okay. If I is known and mu known, we can find R using calculator. And if I and R both are known, we can find mu. Or if mu and R is known, we can find I. Anything we can, this Snell's law, we can use and find out the value of any unknown. If angle of incidence, now we have calculator or trigonometrical table to be used, we can apply that and find unknowns. Okay. Now just see, this fact also, when the ray of light is traveling from rarer, and this is denser medium, ray of light is traveling like this, where is normal, this is called angle of incidence, the ray is refracting where towards the normal, we know the fact, this angle is called angle of refraction. When ray travels from rarer to the denser medium, it bends towards the normal. And when it travels from denser to the rarer medium like this, when it is traveling in this manner, so this is denser, this is rarer medium, it will be bending where away from the normal. This angle will be I, this angle will be R, like that, no? Okay. When a ray of light travels from rarer to the denser, it's bending towards the normal, and other case, bending away from the normal. Here we will mark the angle of deviation. Okay, angle of deviation by a single refracting surface. How to mark by how much angle this ray is deviating. Let us check out. This ray would have gone straight had the median been same. Like this would have gone straight. But because of another medium, I mean the denser medium, the speed is slowing down and it's bending. So this is the angle of bend. This angle is called angle of deviation, which denoted by delta. Angle of bending, or we call it angle of deviation. In this case, how to calculate the angle of deviation? This time angle I will be bigger than R. So we write that is delta is equal to I minus R. We will be writing that. When the ray is coming from rarer to the denser, delta is equal to I minus R. Okay. And the second case, the ray is bending away from the normal. This time R is bigger than I and I is smaller. So this time delta value will become R minus I. R is the bigger angle. And how to show that angle? This ray would have gone straight, but by this angle it is bending. This is delta angle. Delta angle. The delta value will be now. This whole angle is R. This is I. So this will be also I. R minus I if you like there. Whichever is the bigger angle. The bigger minus the smaller angle. Delta is equal to I minus R when rarer to the denser, and delta is equal to R minus I when denser to the rarer medium. Okay. All right. Now we'll do little problem here, and then we carry on with some more theory part. Okay. Write down question. A ray of light. A ray of light. A ray of light is incident. A ray of light is incident at an angle, is incident at an angle 45 degrees while traveling from while traveling from while traveling from while traveling from air to glass. So find the angle of deviation suffered by this ray. Find the angle of deviation suffered by this ray. Okay. And now write under bracket. Under bracket you write refractiveness of glass with respect to air value is 1.5 given. Okay, now how to do? This is simple. I'll be writing the formula mu is equal to sine I by sine R. Here you write A and you write plus. traveling from air to glass. The value of this is given 1.5 sine I. Angle of incidence is given 45 degree. Let us find R value, angle of refraction value we will find first. Sine R, I'll take this side, and here I write sine 45 degree by 1.5. Okay. Sine 45 degree in calculator we'll see how much is the value. If you see, at least you need to write the answer in at least 4 decimal places. The value of sine of any angle, 4 decimal places. So answer will come 0.70. The answer of sine 45 degree in calculator will come 0.7071 divided by 1.5. Here also we will divide and find the answer in 4 decimal places. 0.707 divided by 1.5. What is the answer?
0.471.
0.471. Last number we round off and one more digit, 4 decimal places. Round off and give me the value. You see the fifth number, accordingly you have to round off. So this is all right. Sine R, these are to be taken care of. Okay. Otherwise the marks will be cut. If you write only 1 decimal place, your marks will be deducted. So there is a specific norms to be followed. Okay. So you need to express in 4 digits, 4 decimal places. Now R value will come, sine will go, that's a sine inverse we will see. Now sine inverse of this value 0.4714. And now here the answer in degree we have to write in 2 decimal place and then round off to 1 decimal place. Check what is the answer. Sine inverse of 0.4, 28.13. Okay. Correct. Now next answer we write 28.1 degree. This is the value of R after rounding off. Now this is the value of angle of refraction. Now we'll find delta value now. Therefore delta formula we have I minus R. I value is how much? Angle of 45 minus R value is 28.1. We subtract and get the answer. Delta you have to find, no, ultimately. So I minus I is bigger angle and R is smaller angle. So I minus R. What is the answer? You can share with me because I don't have calculator. Tell me. 16.9 degree. 16.9 degrees. Nearly 17 degree, but we are at 16.9 degree. So this is how we'll do this problem. Okay, now next question. Please write. A ray of light traveling from air to a liquid has an angle of incidence 60 degree. 60 degree. Full stop. Right. The ray deviates through 15 degree. The ray deviates through 15 degree, 15 degree, while traveling through the liquid. Stop. Find the refractive index of the liquid. Find the refractive index of the liquid. Find the Ri of the liquid. Okay, they are saying find the Ri of the liquid. That means it is absolute one. That only we have to find. That is with respect to air or with respect to vacuum. Because here it is air to that liquid, so we have to find that. This question is little simpler. Right? I value is given how much degree? 60 degree. Angle of deviation is given 15 degree. We'll find R. We know the formula. Delta is equal to the formula is I minus R. Delta is 15. And I is 60 minus R. Therefore, R value will be coming 60 minus 15. That means 45 degree. So we have I also known, R also known. We can find mu. What is the formula of mu directly? That's absolute one of the liquid with respect to air. The formula will be what? Sin I by sin R. Sin 60-degree angle divided by sin 45-degree angle. Now we'll find the answer in decimal places here, four decimal places, and then we'll divide and write down the answer. Sin 60-degree, the value is 0.8660. Sin 45-degree value is 7071. We divide it and write down the answer in at least one or two decimal places first, and then we round off and write in one decimal place. 1.2247 is there. So I like 1.225. I'll round off now. 1.22 I like. Two decimal places. 1.23 we can add. 1.23. 1.23. Yeah, 1.23 we will add. Okay. So understood this type question has come in the past, so it may come. So be prepared. Okay. Now next one. That a ray of light traveling from air to glass deviates through 15 degree 15 deviates through 15 degree. Full stop. Find the angle of incidence. Okay, and now right under bracket, refractive index of glass with respect to air, the value is given 1.5. This is the value given. Okay. So that is the question. Now how to do it? Now see the answer solution. This time deviation angle is given 15 degree. And it is traveling from air to glass, mu is given, that means mu is given 1.5. We have to find I is question mark. Angle of incidence is also not known, and angle R is also not known. So this question is slightly looking quite simple, but calculation is bit lengthy, okay, and it may carry 3 marks. Okay, I'll use the formula of delta first. Delta is equal to I minus R. I will write first. 15 is equal to I minus R. We have to find I, so make R the subject of formula. R will come this side, it will become I minus 15. This is equation number 1. I'll see this equation 1. R is equal to I minus 15. Now I'll use the formula of mu. What is the formula of mu? That is sin I upon sin R. The value of this is 1.5. Sin I, I'll keep as it is, upon sin R value is I minus 15. Okay. Now how to solve the equation and find the value of I? So this looks quite simple, but it is not that. I'll do cross multiply and write here 1.5 sin I minus 15 is equal to sin I. I will write in this manner. 1.5 I'll keep as it is, and now I'll use the formula of compound angle. You know, sin A minus B formula. What is the formula of sin A minus B? The formula is sin A cos B minus cos A sin B. So I'll have to use that formula. This will become sin I cos 15 minus cos I sin 15 equal to sin I. Okay. Now I'll divide by sin I in both sides Out here I write 1.5 sin I cos 15 by sin I. In both we are dividing. Here I write cos I sin 15 by sin I equal to 1. I will write that. Okay, now sin I will be cancelled. I write like this. 1.5 within bracket cos 15 minus cos by sin become cost. I write cot I sin 15 is equal to 1. Okay, now 1.5 into this I will do 1.5 cos 15 minus 1.5 into this 1.5 cot I sin 15 equal to 1. This one I'll send that side and one I'll bring this side. Right? 1.5 cos 15 minus 1 is equal to 1.5 cot I sin 15. Sin 15 and whole number I'll bring down here. Cos 15 minus 1 divided by 1.5 sin 15 here is equal to cot I. In calculator, cot I is not there. I'll change in tan I by reciprocating both the sides. This will be reciprocal now. 1.5 sin 15 by 1.5 cos 15 minus 1 is equal to tan I. Now I'll find the value of all these things in decimal and then I'll take tan inverse and get answer. 1.5 sin 15 you can do in calculator one shot. What is the answer? Please check and tell me. Share with me because I don't have calculator.
0.388.
1.5 into this is coming 0.3882 upon 1 point cos 15 minus 1 also will do together. 1 point cos 15, whatever answer comes, then minus 1 also together. What is the answer?
0.4488.
0.48
4488.
4488 is equal to tan I. Divide it and get the answer in at least 4 decimal places. 0.3882 divided by 0.4488. What is the answer?
0.8649.
8649 is equal to tan I. Now I will take tan inverse. Use calculator. Tan inverse of this value 0.8649 is equal to I. What is the answer now? I value comes how much? Tan inverse of this value.
40.8565.
40.86 degree. Round off now 40.9 degree. 40.9 degree is the value of I, angle of incidence. Now once we know angle of incidence, we can find the angle of refraction also because R is equal to I minus delta. You can do that. R value come 40.9 minus 15. The answer would come 25.9. By chance if they ask, then only we do, otherwise not. So this question was looking simpler, but the working is slightly lengthy. Hope you understood this. Yes. Any doubts, any clarification? All clear? Yes. Okay. हाँ क्या बोला? 0.4488 हाँ? इसका वैल्यू 1.5 cos 15 minus 1. देखो तो क्या करोगे? 1.5 cos 15 minus 1 कर लो. एक बार कैलकुलेटर से चेक कर लो तुम लोग. मेरा आंसर ठीक ही है. ठीक है ना? हाँ हाँ समझ गया तो? ठीक है आज के लिए इतना ही करेगा. कल हम लोग कंटिन्यू करेगा फिर. We'll continue with this one only tomorrow. विल गो फॉरवर्ड। ओके, ठीक है, तो आज के लिए इतना ही काफी है। ओके 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 ओके, थैंक यू।